Hi guys, welcome and who dat? I'm Joe, and I'm here today to preview the Week 3 matchup as our beloved, bless you boys, in black and gold, the 2-0 New Orleans Saints travel to historic Lambeau Field to take on the 1-1 Green Bay Packers. Now, in these preview videos, I am a Saints fan and I focus on the Saints and the roster. We're early in the season right now. It's kind of hard to get a read on some of these teams that we're going to play. Last week against Carolina, it's a little easier as a divisional foe. But this will be a conference game. The Saints are coming off a road Monday night game and traveling on a short week to play another away game. The stats aren't in favor for those teams. I think that's why Vegas has Green Bay as a 2.5-point favorite right now. You get the 3 points for home field advantage. At a neutral site, the Saints would be a half-point advantage. And I think that's why. It's because we just got off our short week road game, going to another road game. It's still early in the season as well. So how good are the Green Bay Packers? I think that they're a really good team without Aaron Rodgers. Everyone thought they might take a step back. Jordan Love is a good quarterback, and he's getting his chance now to play. I think he's pretty good. Their defense is a little suspect against the run. They have a decent front, though, and a great cornerback in Alexander. So it's going to be a tough challenge for the Saints. Right now, it's early in the week, so it's hard to determine who's going to play in the game. But for the Packers, they're starting left tackle Bhattacharya, perhaps. He's dealing with an injury. Another starting offensive lineman is dealing with an injury. Wide receiver Watson is dealing with an injury. So we'll see. As far as the Saints go, Taysom Hill is dealing with a knee, but he's expected to be limited practice. And, the usual suspects. We're not going to have Jamal Williams back. I'll tell you what, let's pull up the Saints offense and let's look at the roster as it stands right now. We still have quarterback Jake Haener, who's suspended. And we still have running back Alvin Kamara, who's suspended. Jamal Williams is injured. He's not going to play this week. He may be out as long as a month. They haven't put him on IR yet. I think we're going to let this play out and see while he remains on the roster. A lot of people are up in arms because we're not signing another running back. A good candidate would be Darrell Williams, as he did spend some time on the Saints roster this preseason until he got injured. The Saints seem to be determined to just stay put with where they're at. We expect Kendre Miller to be back and playing in this game. And we have signed Tony Jones Jr. from the practice squad to the active roster after scoring 2 touchdowns last weekend. I think the Saints don't want to put him back on the practice squad because somebody might come and get him like they did last time we did that. So Tony Jones Jr. is now officially on the roster. And it looks like we're going into the game with Kendre Miller and Tony Jones. Now, Kirk Merritt is on the team. I'm pretty sure he's healthy, but he was a healthy scratch last week. Besides the fact that we only had 2 healthy running backs, Merritt was not active. We'll see if he's active this weekend. But we know for sure we're going to go in with Miller and Jones, and we'll see what happens. We've got Taysom Hill. He lined up as a running back last week for a few plays. He was really good. He also did a lot from the quarterback position. I like the way we used Hill in this last game. I like throwing the ball with Hill, letting him hand off, letting him fake pitches, letting him do a run-pass option letting him do a run option with the running back. All this stuff is a lot for another team to deal with. When you face a mobile quarterback in the NFL, you practice all week long for that guy. But when you know you're going to be facing Derek Carr, you have to prepare a certain way, but you have to find time in your week to prepare for Hill as well. It's a interesting conundrum that the Saints can use to their advantage. The offensive line for the Saints is struggling. Penning seemed to be a little better in this game, the second game, and we're going to see. I think that all of these guys are pretty good players. And I think the truth is we just played a couple of really good defenses to start the season. A lot of people are bumming about the offense. And I think because everything's brand new and we're trying to work things out, we're not really at full power, and we're playing really good defenses to start the year. I think that's the reason why the offense seems to be struggling for a lot of people. I don't have any issues with it. I think they're going to turn it around. I think they look pretty good now compared to last year. I think our offense looks pretty solid. All during training camp and preseason, we saw a lot of activity from the tight end position, and we were pretty effective in the offseason against our own defense with that. And we haven't done it a lot in the first two games. A lot of people are wondering why. Well, the first two teams we played run 3-4 defenses. That's something we don't normally face. When you have that many linebackers running around out there, there's certain coverages you can do with that. And, I'm thinking our tight ends are just chipping, run blocking. They're getting out in their pass routes late because of this focus on the blocking. And I don't know. I think that things are going to look up when it comes to the tight ends. I think it's a really good weapon to have. Juwan Johnson, Jimmy Graham in the red zone. Foster Moreau was also on the initial injury report this week. He's dealing with an ankle. He did not leave the game last week. So I'm hoping that the knee injury for Hill and the ankle injury for Moreau is just a precautionary thing. They were both listed as limited, even though this was on Wednesday, and I don't think they technically practiced. They just had a walkthrough. So keep your eyes open for the injury report to see what's going on for both teams. I try to get these previews out pretty early, so you'll have to pay attention to that injury report to see what happens. That's your offense right there. Let's pull up the black and gold defense. All right, the big change this week, safety Marcus Maye is finally getting his suspension for a DUI that he was arrested for in 2021. This was something the Saints were expecting when they signed him, and we had him all year last year, had him for the start of this season, but he's now going to serve a 3-game suspension. So Maye's not on the roster right now. Jordan Howden, our 5th-round rookie safety, has been the next man up all offseason. He got a couple of dozen snaps in both of these initial games this season as a dime back and as a replacement, as a special teams player. So I'm assuming Jordan Howden is going to be the man, and he is equipped to do so. Maye has had a hot and cold season so far. He missed a few things this past game. He also put up some good numbers. He had an interception in week 1. He had a sack in week 2. So Marcus Maye's been doing pretty good, but I don't think it's something we need to worry about. I like Jordan Howden. I think this is going to be a chance now for this rookie to go out there and show what he can do. Apparently, he's got eyes like Marcus Williams when he plays deep, and when he comes up into the box, he's a better tackler than Marcus Williams. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at not missing too much of a beat. Now, he's a rookie, so if he gets burned a couple of times, I guess it's to be expected, but I'm expecting him to do well. You also have J.T. Gray at safety as a backup, and there's a big chance we'll elevate Jonathan Abram from the practice squad. who can play the safety position. We've got Ugo Amadi. We've got Lonnie Johnson Jr. All of these guys have played safety before. So we've got Marcus May's spot covered for the next 3 weeks. I think we're in pretty good shape there. We still have Kyle Phillips at defensive end. This past game, we did activate Isaiah Foskey. I think he played at 9 or 12 snaps, and he didn't do very well. So maybe Kyle Phillips will see a lot more of that backup action this week, or, we just let Foskey keep learning. The good thing is they're both backups. We have 2 incredible defensive ends in Cam Jordan and Carl Granderson. How about him? He's doing really well right now, on a short list for defensive MVP. I still got to give it to Davis and Lattimore at this point. Pete Werner at linebacker is doing great. So in the first game, we elevated Ryan Connolly at linebacker. He ended up not being able to go during the game because of that injury, so we put him on IR to get the surgery. They were thinking he didn't need it. In week 2, last week, we elevated Ty Summers from the practice squad to be active for the game. He got a lot of play on special teams. So I'm looking at linebacker again of a possible addition from the practice squad, but really safety. I'm thinking Jonathan Abram will come up, possibly Ty Summers as well. We're still running on a 52-man roster. And, May's suspended for 3 games now. That freed up a spot, and we end up putting Tony Jones Jr. on the squad for good. So there's still a lot of moves that can be made. We're just pretty late in the week. This is Thursday to actually add another player that's not already on our practice squad. So things can change toward the end of the week, so keep an eye out for all of that. All right. Now let's get to the prediction. Saints traveling to Green Bay early in the year is always a good thing. This is going to be Green Bay's first game at home this season. They are 1-1 after 2 road games. So the Packer fans should be going crazy. It's going to be a hostile environment in a historic venue. But I believe that the Saints defense is playing really good right now. They're on a tear, and I think that we could give, really good established quarterbacks a hard time. So when I look at a guy like Jordan Love, who's relatively inexperienced and, his first chance as a starting quarterback, I just don't know. He can get them feet moving. Apparently he likes to go with first read quite a bit. So the chess match is going to be their very creative offense versus our creative defense. We're going to have to show them something, move into something else. We're going to have to throw Love off of his first read and then try to get to him. And he's pretty mobile and he's pretty smart with the ball. So it's going to be difficult. As far as their running game goes, I think the Saints are really good against the run. I'm not too worried about that. If the offense can find those big plays early for the Saints, we can just take a team out of running the ball altogether. That's the best case scenario. People are worried about the Saints offense, and we've played, in my opinion, 2 really good defenses so far in Tennessee and Carolina. So for our offense to win those games against those great defenses, in the struggling early moments of this offense, I'm pretty excited. Our defense has played lights out, but admittedly, we haven't played the greatest of passing offenses yet. Not sure if Green Bay is in that category, but they are a well-coached team, and they should present some problems. Personally, I think they will find the end zone against our great defense this week, but it won't be enough. My prediction for the final score, Saints go into Green Bay and win. The Saints 23, Green Bay 13. That's my prediction. We'll see what happens. You guys subscribe to Rosenfield 10. I will be doing a review and reaction to this game. That video will come up no later than Tuesday. And until then, I'll talk to you later.